On a clear summer day, the sky was blue and the sun shone brightly over the small town of Maplewood. Children played outside and families enjoyed their weekend picnics. Little did they know that this peaceful day was about to change forever. Suddenly, a loud rumble echoed through the air. People looked up, their smiles fading into confusion and fear. Dark shapes appeared in the sky, blocking out the sun. They were alien ships, massive and unlike anything Earth had ever seen. The ships descended rapidly, casting long shadows over the town. Panic spread like wildfire. Parents grabbed their children and ran toward their homes. Sirens blared as the police and emergency services rushed to warn everyone. "Get inside! Seek shelter!" echoed through loudspeakers. But many were frozen in shock, their eyes glued to the strange vessels hovering above. The ships began to fire. Bright beams of energy shot down, striking buildings and setting them ablaze. The ground shook as explosions rocked the streets. Maplewood, once a peaceful town, became a scene of chaos. People screamed, trying to flee the destruction. Cars crashed into each other as drivers attempted to escape. In the midst of the chaos, a group of brave individuals gathered in the town square. They were a mix of soldiers, scientists, and ordinary citizens, united by a common goal to defend their home. Among them was Captain Sarah, a skilled military leader known for her bravery. She raised her voice above the noise, trying to rally everyone. "We can't just stand here. We must fight back," she shouted, her eyes shining with determination. The crowd looked at her, unsure. Some were afraid, while others were inspired by her courage. Just then, a loud explosion shattered the air, and a building collapsed nearby. The ground trembled beneath them. "We need to act fast," Sarah urged. "We have to gather whatever weapons we can find and prepare to defend our town." As the group split up to gather supplies, fear lingered in the air. Mark, a young scientist, hurried to the local laboratory to grab anything that could help. He had always believed in humanity's potential, but this was unlike anything he had ever imagined. He quickly gathered chemical formulas and improvised weapons, hoping they would make a difference. Meanwhile, Sarah led a team of soldiers to the local armory. They loaded their vehicles with guns, ammunition, and explosives. "Stay focused! We must protect our people," she commanded, her heart pounding with adrenaline. As they returned to the town square, the aliens unleashed another wave of destruction. More beams of energy rained down, causing chaos everywhere. "We're outnumbered!" shouted one soldier. Fear began to creep into the hearts of those who had gathered. "Don't lose hope!" Sarah yelled, trying to keep spirits high. "We are human, and we've fought through tougher times than this. We can do this together!" The crowd, though shaken, started to rally around her words. They were scared, but something stirred within them. A spark of defiance against the alien invaders. Suddenly, an alien ship swooped low, surveying the area. Its design was sleek and menacing, with glowing symbols that seemed to pulse with energy. The crew inside had a cold, calculating look, observing the chaos they had caused. They communicated in strange, harsh sounds, seeming to mock the humans below. As night began to fall, the town was in ruins. Smoke filled the air, and the cries of the frightened mixed with the sounds of destruction. But in the heart of the chaos, the group of brave humans began to form a plan. They had one goal: to fight back against the invaders who had come to take their world. Captain Sarah looked around at her team, determination burning in her eyes. "We will not let fear win! We will protect our home no matter the cost." With renewed energy, the group prepared for the battle ahead, knowing that their fight for survival had only just begun. The invaders had underestimated humanity, and now it was time for the humans to show their true strength. Little did they know, the fight would lead them to discover powers beyond their imagination, powers that could change the fate of Earth forever. The day after the attack was a grim one for Maplewood. Smoke still hung in the air, and the sound of sirens echoed through the empty streets. Buildings were damaged, and many homes were lost. The people felt the weight of fear pressing down on them. Captain Sarah gathered the survivors at a makeshift command center set up in the town hall. As she looked at the faces of her team, she felt a mix of hope and worry. "We fought bravely, but we need more than weapons to defeat the aliens," she said, her voice steady. "We need to find answers." Mark, the young scientist, stepped forward, clutching a dusty old book he had found in the lab. "I came across this while looking for supplies. It talks about cosmic beings, powerful entities that protect the universe. Some say they can help in times of great danger." The room fell silent. Some people exchanged skeptical glances while others leaned in, intrigued. Cosmic beings? Sarah repeated, raising an eyebrow. What do you mean? Can they really help us? Mark nodded earnestly. According to this text, they have the power to control energy and space. If we can reach out to them, they might come to our aid. His voice trembled with excitement and fear. But it won't be easy. We need a lot of energy to make contact. Sarah considered this. We're already fighting a losing battle. We need to try something different. What do we need to do to summon these beings? Mark flipped through the pages, revealing ancient drawings of symbols and rituals. We'll need to find a special site. The book mentions ancient places of power. If we can gather energy there, we can reach out to the cosmic beings. The group listened intently as Mark explained the details. There's a cave on the outskirts of town that matches the description. We can gather there tonight under the stars. Sarah felt a surge of hope. Then it settled. We'll split into teams to gather supplies and keep watch. We need to be careful. The aliens might still be nearby. As the sun set, the group set out toward the cave, determined to find a way to save their world. The path was dark and overgrown, but the sense of purpose fueled their steps. Along the way, they shared stories of the past, memories of happier times before the invasion. When they finally arrived at the cave, it was magnificent. The entrance was framed by ancient stones, and glowing crystals adorned the walls. The atmosphere felt charged with energy, making the hair on their arms stand up. Mark's eyes sparkled with excitement as he stepped inside. "This is it," he exclaimed. "We need to set up a circle with these crystals. They'll help us channel the energy." The team worked quickly, placing the crystals in a circle and connecting them with ropes they had brought. As they finished, the cave was filled with a soft, warm light. Everyone felt a sense of peace wash over them, but fear still lingered in their hearts. "We must focus our energy," Mark instructed. "We need to show the cosmic beings that we are united and determined." As night fell, they stood in the center of the circle holding hands. Sarah led the group in a chant from the ancient text, her voice steady despite the trembling in her heart. The crystals began to glow brighter, pulsating with energy. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the cave, making everyone jump. The ground shook slightly, and a soft breeze swept through the cave. "Keep going," Sarah urged, squeezing Mark's hand tightly. They continued the chant, pouring their hopes and fears into their words. The crystals glowed even brighter, casting colorful reflections on the cave walls. In that moment, they felt a connection, a bond between them, the earth, and something greater. Then, without warning, a brilliant light burst forth from the center of the circle. The air crackled with energy, and the group gasped in awe. A voice resonated through the cave, deep and powerful. "Who calls forth the cosmic beings?" Mark's heart raced as he realized their chant had worked. "We seek your help. Our world is in danger from alien invaders. We are united and desperate for your aid." The light pulsed, and the voice responded, "To earn our power, you must prove your worth. Show us your strength and your spirit." As the light faded, the group stood in silence, absorbing what had just happened. They had made contact with the cosmic beings, but what would it take to prove themselves? Captain Sarah looked at her team, determination shining in her eyes. "We will show them who we are. We will fight for our home together." The group nodded, filled with hope and a sense of purpose as they prepared for the challenges ahead. The battle for Earth was far from over, but now they had a chance to call forth the power of the universe. The night was quiet after the incredible experience in the cave. The team of survivors returned to Maplewood with a mix of excitement and anxiety. They had connected with the cosmic beings, but what would come next? Everyone felt a sense of urgency. They had to prepare for what was to come. The following morning, Captain Sarah gathered everyone in the town square. The streets were still filled with rubble from the attack, but the spirit of the people remained strong. "We made contact with the cosmic beings," she announced, her voice echoing through the air. "But we must prove our worth to them. We need to be ready." Mark stepped forward, clutching the ancient book. "The beings need to see our strength and unity. We must show them we are ready to fight for our home. We will need to gather energy again, but this time it must be more powerful." He explained that they needed to perform the ritual at the cave again, but with a larger group and more focus. "The more energy we channel, the stronger our call will be," Mark said, looking around at the faces in the crowd. "We can do this together." The people of Maplewood were eager to help. They spread the word, calling for everyone to come to the cave that night. The sense of community grew, and soon neighbors, friends, and even those who had been strangers came together. The promise of unity filled the air, a hope that they had not felt since the invasion began. As the sun set, the townspeople gathered at the cave, ready to show their strength. They formed a circle around the glowing crystals, and Sarah could see the determination in their eyes. "Tonight we stand as one," she shouted, her heart swelling with pride. "Together we will show the cosmic beings that we are worthy of their power." Mark began to explain the steps of the ritual, making sure everyone understood their roles. "We will chant and focus on our energy. Picture your love for this town, for your families, and for each other. Let that energy flow through you and into the crystals." With every word Mark spoke, excitement bubbled within the group. They could feel the energy in the air, a tingling sensation that made their hearts race. They stood in a circle, holding hands, forming a strong bond that connected them all. As the stars twinkled above, the group began to chant, their voices rising together. Sarah led them, her voice clear and strong. "We call upon the cosmic beings. We seek your power. We are united." The crystals glowed brighter with each repetition of the chant. A warm light filled the cave, making it feel alive with energy. The air crackled, and everyone felt a surge of power within them. They could sense the cosmic beings watching, waiting for their moment. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the cave, rustling their clothes and hair. The temperature dropped slightly, and a soft, melodic sound filled the air like a distant song. The crystals pulsed with light, and the ground shook gently beneath them. "Keep going! We're almost there!" Sarah shouted, encouraging everyone to stay focused. "Imagine our strength and our love for Earth." As they continued to chant, the light in the cave became blinding. It engulfed them, and for a moment, they were all connected to something greater. They felt the universe around them, vast and powerful. They were no longer just a small town fighting against invaders. They were part of a cosmic struggle. Then, the voice echoed through the cave once more, deeper and stronger than before. "You have called upon us. We see your strength and your spirit. But to earn our power, you must face a great challenge." The group stood in awe, heartbeats racing. "What challenge?" Mark asked, stepping forward. "What must we do to prove ourselves?" "Face the invaders," the voice replied. "Show your courage in battle. Only then will you earn the power of the cosmic beings." As the light faded, the townspeople looked at one another, fear and determination mingling in their eyes. They had come so far, but the real fight was about to begin. Sarah took a deep breath and raised her head high. "We will not back down. We will fight for our home. Together, we will show the alien invaders that humanity is strong." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted. They felt a sense of unity and purpose, ready to face whatever came next. The cosmic beings had given them a chance, and they would seize it. That night they made their final preparations, knowing that the fate of their town, and perhaps their world, depended on their courage. Together, they would rise against the invaders and show the universe what humanity was capable of. The time for battle was near, and they were ready to face it head-on. The dawn of battle broke over Maplewood, painting the sky in hues of orange and red. The townspeople gathered in the town square, armed with makeshift weapons and fueled by determination. Captain Sarah stood at the front, her heart racing. Today, they would fight back against the alien invaders who had taken so much from them. "Listen up," she called, her voice firm. "Today is the day we take our town back. We will show the aliens that we are strong, that we will not back down." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits high, ready to face the challenge ahead. Mark, the young scientist, had worked hard to create a plan. He pointed to the old town map laid out on a wooden table. "We know the aliens have set up a base on the hill overlooking Maplewood. If we can take that out, we can disrupt their operations. We need to move fast and work together." The townspeople nodded in agreement. Sarah gathered her team, instructing them to divide into groups. Some would create distractions while others would move in for the attack. Stay close to one another. Remember what we've practiced. "We fight as one," she emphasized. As they approached the hill, the sound of alien machines hummed ominously in the air. The alien ships hovered like dark clouds, casting shadows over the landscape. A mixture of fear and determination filled the hearts of the townspeople. They had never faced anything like this before, but they knew they had to protect their home. The first group moved in quietly, using the cover of trees and bushes. They spotted 2 alien guards standing near the entrance of the base. Mark whispered, "We need to take them out quietly." He pulled out a slingshot he had crafted, loaded with small rocks. With steady hands, he aimed and fired, hitting one of the guards in the back of the head. The alien crumpled to the ground. The second guard turned, startled, but before he could react, Sarah and another townsman charged forward. They tackled him, quickly overpowering the alien. The team exchanged relieved glances. They were working together as they had planned. With the guards down, they slipped into the base, careful to remain silent. Inside, the base was buzzing with activity. Alien creatures moved about, unaware of the humans creeping in. Mark led the way, guiding them through the maze of hallways. "We need to find their control room," he said, glancing at the maps on the walls. As they moved deeper into the base, they overheard a conversation between 2 aliens. "The humans are getting too close. We must secure the perimeter," one said. Panic filled the air, and Sarah felt the urgency grow. "We need to hurry," she whispered. Finally, they found the control room, a large space filled with screens and alien technology. Mark pointed to a large button at the center of the room. "If we can disable their communication system, it will confuse them and give us an advantage." Sarah nodded. "Let's do it." While Mark worked on the alien console, the others kept watch. Suddenly, alarms blared, and red lights flashed throughout the base. "They know we're here," one of the townspeople yelled. "Finish quickly, Mark," Sarah urged, her heart pounding. Mark's fingers flew over the controls, sweat beading on his forehead. "I'm almost there." Just then, the door swung open, and a group of armed aliens stormed in. The townspeople sprang into action, fighting back with everything they had. Sarah grabbed a metal pipe, swinging it at an alien who lunged toward Mark. She struck with all her strength, knocking the alien back. The room erupted into chaos, with fists flying and alien shouts filling the air. The humans fought fiercely, fueled by the hope of saving their town. Mark finally shouted, "I did it!" Just as he pressed the final button, the screens flickered and went dark. The aliens' communication systems were down. Confusion spread among the enemy, giving the humans a brief window of opportunity. "Now, let's move!" Sarah shouted, leading the charge out of the control room. They raced back through the base, adrenaline pumping through their veins. The aliens were in disarray, scrambling to understand what had happened. The townspeople took advantage of the chaos, pushing back against the remaining guards. As they reached the entrance, they heard the loud rumble of alien ships preparing to take off. "We need to stop them!" one of the townspeople yelled. Without thinking, Sarah grabbed a nearby fire extinguisher and hurled it at the nearest ship, hitting it squarely. The ship shook, smoke pouring out of the engines. The townspeople cheered, feeling the thrill of victory. They had taken the fight to the aliens, showing them that they would not be easily defeated. As the aliens stumbled back, Sarah raised her pipe in triumph. "This is just the beginning. We fight for our home, our families, and for each other." The battle was far from over, but they had struck a powerful blow against their invaders. Today, they had shown their courage, and with the help of the cosmic beings, they would continue to fight for their freedom. Together, they would push back the darkness and reclaim their town. The sun rose over Maplewood, casting a warm glow on the town that had been through so much. The battle against the alien invaders had changed everything, but the spirit of the townspeople was stronger than ever. Captain Sarah stood on the hill overlooking the town, her heart filled with hope and determination. The previous day's fight had been fierce, but the townspeople had come together in a way they never imagined possible. They had faced their fears and stood up to the aliens, proving that they would not be easily defeated. The alien base lay in ruins, and the remaining invaders had fled. But the people knew their fight was not over yet. As the townspeople began to emerge from their homes, the sense of unity filled the air. Families hugged, children played, and laughter replaced the fear that had once gripped the town. Mark, who had led the charge in the control room, was busy organizing supplies and gathering everyone for a meeting. He called for them to gather in the town square. "Everyone, we need to talk about what comes next," he said, waving his hands for attention. The crowd fell silent, eager to hear his plans. "We may have won this battle, but the aliens will not give up so easily. We need to prepare for their return. We need to be ready." Sarah stepped forward, standing next to Mark. "Mark is right. We must use this victory to our advantage. We have shown our strength, but we need to build on it. We can fortify our defenses and gather resources. We can do this together. The crowd nodded, their faces filled with determination. They knew they had to stay strong and united. As the sun rose higher, they began discussing their next steps, brainstorming ideas on how to protect their town. Some suggested building barricades, while others spoke of gathering supplies from nearby towns. Meanwhile, Sarah and Mark decided to send a small group to the nearby city of Pine Grove, where they might find additional resources. "We need to form alliances," Mark said. "If we can find other towns willing to join our fight, we will be stronger together." The townspeople quickly formed teams. They chose brave volunteers who could travel safely to Pine Grove. Sarah selected a few trusted individuals, including her friend Lisa, who was known for her quick thinking. "Stay alert and stick together," she reminded them. "You'll be our eyes and ears. Bring back any information you can." As they prepared to leave, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and concern. She knew this was just the beginning, and while they had won a significant battle, the war was far from over. With the group set off, Sarah and the remaining townspeople began fortifying Maplewood. They gathered materials from the wreckage of the alien base, creating makeshift barricades and lookout posts. The once quiet town was now a hub of activity, and everyone pitched in, showing that they were ready to fight for their home. Days passed, and the atmosphere in Maplewood transformed. The townspeople grew stronger and more skilled, training together and learning how to defend themselves. They practiced drills, combining their efforts to ensure everyone knew their role. Each day, they fortified their town a little more, prepared for whatever the aliens might throw at them next. One evening, as the sky turned shades of purple and gold, Sarah gathered everyone in the square for a meeting. "We have come a long way," she said, looking around at the faces of her friends and neighbors. "We are no longer just survivors. We are warriors. We fight for our town, for our families, and for our future." Suddenly, a loud noise interrupted her speech. The sound of engines filled the air, and everyone looked up to see an alien ship hovering above the town. Fear gripped the hearts of the townspeople, but Sarah quickly spoke up. "Stay calm! We are ready." The alien ship hovered for a moment, and then it began to descend slowly. The townspeople braced themselves for an attack, but to their surprise, a figure emerged from the ship. It was an alien, but this one was different, wearing a blue cloak and a glowing emblem on its chest. "Humans of Maplewood," it called, its voice echoing through the air. "I come not to fight, but to offer a message of peace. The invaders are gone, but I am here to help." The townspeople exchanged glances, unsure of what to think. Sarah stepped forward, her heart pounding. "What do you want?" she demanded. "I seek an alliance," the alien replied, its eyes shining with sincerity. "We have seen your courage and strength. Together, we can protect our worlds from those who threaten us." A murmur of surprise rippled through the crowd. This could be the opportunity they needed, a chance to join forces with other beings against the invaders. Sarah took a deep breath, her mind racing. "We will consider your offer," she said, her voice steady. The dawn of a new chapter was upon them. Maplewood had faced darkness and emerged stronger, and now they had a chance to unite with others in the universe. The fight was not over, but with hope and unity, they would stand together against whatever challenges lay ahead.